and nothing happened to the object.
Were Truman and Eisenhower aware of the military value of UFO technology?
It's the single most important secret they've got.
And is it possible that a JFK plan to share UFO secrets with the Russians led to tragedy in Dallas? February 25th, 1942. Los Angeles, California. Following the Japanese sneak attack on Pearl Harbor, the city is gripped by fear that Los Angeles could be next. Suddenly, just after 3 a.m., powerful arc lamps light up the night sky, and the city erupts with the sound of anti-aircraft guns. It seems everyone's worst fears have come true.
The Battle of LA took place about 3 months after Pearl Harbor. So many people thought that this was some sort of Japanese attack.
There was an object that was tracked on radar, and it was then seen visually. And then the U.S. military fired 1,430 rounds of artillery. Lots of ground witnesses, lots of military witnesses. There were witnesses who said there were more than one of these objects.
The mindset. This is World War II, and there's all these fears, and people are on edge.
Army's anti-aircraft barrage is unable to bring down any flying objects.
Clearly, there were no Japanese planes in the air. There were no aircraft carriers in the area. And yet, this was a real thing.
If this had been a conventional aircraft, logic suggests that it would have been shot down. So the fact that this object was seemingly impervious to this ground fire does raise the question: if this wasn't an aircraft, what was it?
Nobody seems to know, not even the military. And photos making front page news the following day only deepen the mystery. Bob Spearing, a field investigator and visual analysis expert for the Mutual UFO Network, studied the pictures.
This is the original photograph that was taken the night of the Battle of LA. We see great spotlights shining up to an object. There is definitely a solid object there of immense size between 100 and 330 feet. This was a time exposure photo, so it showed 7 explosions of the artillery used, many of them a direct hit, and nothing happened to the object. It was impenetrable.
Despite these facts, in Washington, D.C., President Franklin Roosevelt's Secretary of the Navy, Frank Knox, announces that the Battle of LA had been a false alarm, adding there were no planes in the sky over Los Angeles. But decades later, researchers discover incredible written evidence that the military misled the public. It appears that 8 days after the infamous LA night, Army Chief of Staff George Marshall writes to President Roosevelt to report shocking news. This headquarters has come to the determination that the mystery airplanes are in fact not earthly, and according to secret intelligence sources, they are in all probability of interplanetary origin.
That particular memo from Marshall to President Roosevelt has been disputed ever since it appeared. But according to these documents, there were multiple events over LA and over by San Bernardino where objects were retrieved that were not from our civilization.
The Roosevelt administration chose to keep things a secret. Many feel it was to avoid hysteria. But some people would say this is where the cover-up began. The silence from the government was the beginning of a conspiracy to keep the truth about UFOs from the public.
For For most, the Battle of LA is quickly forgotten in the urgency of World War II. But why did Roosevelt choose to cover up the facts? UFO investigators believe the president's thinking is made clear in yet another astonishing memo, never before seen on national television, that he wrote just 2 days after the Battle of LA. It speaks about atomic secrets learned from study of celestial devices, and material in possession of the Army that may be of great significance toward the development of a super weapon of war.
The phrase that Roosevelt used in that memo where he describes the necessity or the value of creating a super weapon of war. Of course, we were developing the atomic bomb at that very time. When we're talking about material possession by the Army, we're talking about possession of non-human technology.
Did President Roosevelt keep the truth about UFO encounters from the American people in the name of national security? Researchers say yes, and point to perhaps the most important evidence yet uncovered. A classified memo written by Roosevelt in February 1944, 2 years after the LA events, addressed to a previously unknown committee on non-terrestrial science and technology, in which he agrees that non-terrestrial know-how in atomic energy must be used in perfecting super weapons of war to effect the complete defeat of Germany and Japan. Roosevelt also wrote that we should take every advantage of such wonders that have come to us. And he acknowledges the reality that our planet is not the only one harboring intelligent life in the universe.
The double top secret memo, in which he explicitly refers to this as not from our civilization, has been disputed. But these documents were obtained in such a way that makes me think that they are legitimate, that they're real. Now, when we come to the Roosevelt document that talks about acquiring technology and trying to come to grips with the concept that we might not be alone in the universe, there's no doubt that technology acquisition is something that governments and perhaps presidents have thought about in relation to UFOs.
The President's memo to a committee devoted to science and technology not of this earth suggests that our government was, in fact, in possession of otherworldly technology, and that Roosevelt knew far more about UFOs than he ever let on in public.
Throughout Roosevelt's administration, we know that Roosevelt employed very high security to keep the UFO phenomenon under wraps, because it was as classified as the atomic bomb.
The trail of uncovered documents proves to researchers the shocking reality that recovered alien technology helped the U.S. build an atomic superweapon of war. But what will the next president do with this incredible government secret?
The U.S. military has recovered a flying disc.
The evidence is in the form of some leaked documents called the MJ-12 documents.
Baseball is back with MLB Tuesday on TBS and Max. I'm on the way up the road trip on my way from the top of our own shit.
Tuesday on the way. Let's go.
You see the Lucy's case? That's it to us. This is big. This connects everything.
To protecting my country. Back to back episodes Fridays at 9 on TNT. Straight out from the back. Sometimes the finish line is where new legends are born. 9 seasons straight out while the circles only. Premieres Tuesday at 8. From Discovery. Frisky's World. Come on, let's explore. That's made with real salmon. Oh, I found little soups for cats. There's the delicious taste of tuna we treasure. Definitely coming back tomorrow.
Friskies, always more to explore.
Make me feel so miserable.
Flonase relieves your worst allergy symptoms so you can start feeling better the same day and save your relationship with nature. Flonase. A
About 1 in 5 people with fatty liver disease have NASH, which can lead to cirrhosis.
I thought I had fatty liver disease, but it's actually NASH, and it's scarring my liver.
Resdifra is the first and only treatment for NASH with moderate to advanced liver scarring without cirrhosis. It works directly in the liver to help reduce scarring and reduce NASH.
Before taking, tell your doctor about liver or gallbladder problems, or if you are pregnant, breastfeeding, or plan to be. Serious side effects include liver injury, gallstones, gallbladder, pancreas inflammation. Stop taking and call your doctor about tiredness, nausea, vomiting, fever, rash, jaundice, and stomach pain. Tell your doctor if taking gemphirazone, cyclosporin, clopidogrel, or statins. Side effects include diarrhea, itching, dizziness, or constipation.
I have a way forward.
Ask your liver specialist to test for scarring and ask about Resdifra. Sometimes it takes a different approach to see the possibilities all around you.
How many girls?
They're amazing, Dad.
As a Capella University nurse practitioner student, you'll learn the advanced skills you need to face the nursing challenges of today and tomorrow. A different future is closer than you think with Capella University.
Tired of plant shopping the old way? Fast-growing trees makes it easy. Get expert advice, order from home, and shop thousands of fruit trees, privacy trees, and more delivered to your door. Save 15% on your dream yard at Fast-Growing Trees with code TREES.
Hooray, hooray! Lumi launched a spray. I'm Dr. Shannon Clayman, the OBGYN that created Lumi. And this spray will once again change the deodorant game. Unlike other spray deodorants made with mostly alcohol, Lumi's water-based and
Under President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, the first official government reports of UFO activity became top secret, including one about the interplanetary origin of aircraft in the Battle of LA, and another about a super weapon of war being developed with non-terrestrial know-how. When FDR dies in April 1945, those secrets were passed to Vice President Harry Truman, who assumes the presidency. And just 4 months later, Truman orders the dropping of the atomic bomb on Japan. A new superweapon of unearthly power that documents revealed was developed with technology not of this earth.
The modern UFO phenomenon really began during and in the few years immediately after the Second World War.
What happened to
There are
American
extraterrestrial
mainstream
intelligences out there. Did they suddenly show up during and just after the war? Firstly, we developed and used in anger nuclear weapons. And that is very different from space. So anger is not starting. It's an extension. Yes.
The biggest thing that I think that national nuclear technology is a milestone that would further the potential of military intelligence and capability of access. Nuclear explosion is a kind of mimicking of some particular nuclear fusion, and that's an important threshold to organize the future. And I think the explosion of technology is what we might say underwrites this new level missiles.
After the war, UFO phenomenon steadily grew, and Truman becomes the first U.S. president to make peace with the resulting public relations fund. Like the big one that occurred on July 8, 1947, when reports from Roswell, New Mexico, that a flying saucer crashed on the banks of Napa, Georgia, through the newspapers around the world. Even worse,
Drinking 40 ounces is nice because I get real opiate. It tastes like pee.
Fuck this fucking soap!
had actual military officers and participants that were there that have come forward and told us exactly what happened. They picked up debris and all this metal, and then it goes back to the base, and people that are working that day, they know something's going on. This was a huge event.
Soon, other UFO sightings followed, and they too make front-page worldwide news. Though the government refuses to cover this knowledge was known, Lieutenant General Swain of the Air Material Command with Wright College Air Force Base arrives at a stunning conclusion. The phenomenon is self-contained. The items are drawings and handprints, while the challenge is in a at the White House, President briefings on UFO contact.
Today's Air Force liaison, Robert Landry, briefed Harry Truman quarterly on UFOs in coordination with the CIA from the summer of 1947 to the end of Truman's presidency. The President of the United States was a busy man, and yet he found the time every 3 months to get a briefing on these UFOs. That's quite significant in my opinion.
3 weeks after the reported Roswell UFO crash, Truman initiates the largest restructuring in the history of our military and intelligence agencies, and signs the National Security Act of 1947, which made it easier to control and keep secret the government's most highly sensitive information.
U.S. government, particularly the military intelligence, the question of this generation also, like the National Security Act, designed not just to have consultants in mind, but the whole UFO and extraterrestrial issue. By the time the National Security Act became in effect in the summer of 47, a separate organizational structure would have to be created to deal specifically with UFO phenomena.
Questions about Truman's motives for the National Security Act have been debated for decades. UFO investigators say some answers came 37 years later, in 1984, when leaked documents revealed that at the time, Truman had also created a highly classified study group by presidential executive order.
That phenomenon being funded that would require the creation of some kind of secret matter. Now, what's the evidence? Well, the evidence is in the form of some leaked documents that have been argued about through the present day. They call it the revelation. I think 12 to 15,000 that was selected to basically keep secret information and control the narrative of the UFO phenomenon.
And the government's secret policy to conceal all such information from the public. Actually, UFOs are seen flying over our nation's capital.
Home owners are 72 hours for an up, down, all around. Truly touchless anything. For the best deals, go to LouisDeal.com.
You enjoy the overwhelming relief after Real Life Soaps and Go. Real Life Soaps Natural with water and fire can renew and supernatural. Relax, free your bags to free your mood.
Many people told us they had stuffed crust pizza from Domino's before. Only Domino's has never had stuffed crust before. Until now, introducing Domino's new and first ever stuffed crust pizza. No, try one for the first time tonight.
Liberty Mutual is all she talks about. She's getting 10% to give her home auto insurance.
It's pronounced Liberty. That's correct, kid. Only pay what you need. Liberty, liberty, liberty.
UFOs over the capital city. So it becomes, in and of itself, a defense national security issue. UFOs literally over Washington DC has got to be of concern.
You can describe the UFO as being very different than normal aircraft. And though the military has no idea who the intruder was or where they came from, they quickly respond to several events.
They wanted to know what these objects were. So they scrambled jets, and when the jets arrived, UFOs took off.
But
around. They saw it on radar. They decided to hone in on the form what we call an attack. What do you want me to do? Nobody to tell or who to tell.
That's because the unknown objects once again display aerodynamic maneuverability far beyond the most advanced technology of the Air Force. Then, like before, they vanish.
It was out of control. For 2 weekends in a row, there were reports of UFOs over Washington, D.C., over our nation's capital.
As for the government, after weeks of silence, our military spokesman reads a statement for the press.
1947. We have received and analyzed between 1 and 2,000 reports. We have been able adequately to explain the great results. We've been able to explain them as hoaxes and erroneously identified friendly aircraft, as meteorological or electronic phenomena, or as light aberrations.
It was the largest press conference since the end of the Second World War. General Sanford stated that it was his belief, and he had been told by some of his science people, that these were temperature inverters.
General Sanford tried to explain to the public, we got this under control. A couple of mistakes, a little bit of weather phenomenon that confused the radar operators. I mean, for the record, none of the radar operators agreed with that. They weren't allowed to talk to the press.
Is it possible, as researchers believe, that President Truman and his military advisors knew the unknown craft flying over D.C. were extraterrestrial in origin, yet refused to admit this to the American public? Tellingly, 6 weeks later in September 1952, Truman authorizes the creation of Project Blue Book, an ultra-top-secret military study of the UFO phenomenon.
The Washington, D.C. wave of sightings was really the point at which Project Blue Book came into its own. Got the resources, got many of those in government to go out and look at these cases and say, what are we dealing with?
Even President Truman admits his concern about UFOs shortly before leaving office in a candid moment. Still, Truman avoids saying publicly what exactly he and the military know.
It makes perfect sense that Truman would need to hide the reality of this phenomenon from the public. It's the single most important secret we've got. Other beings, not from the
Here for the magic touch.
But technology that's not supposed to exist, but does exist, that would revolutionize the world, that would revolutionize our society. These people clearly felt the need to maintain total control over this knowledge.
Was Truman unwilling to admit publicly that the military was powerless against UFOs, or that off-world technology had become a powerful engine behind the Pentagon and its defense ministry? Coming up.
One makes absolute sense from a security point of view for the UFO tech program.
Eisenhower may have even threatened sending the military into Area 51 to take control of what was going on there.
Government plus game. Welcome to the team. Thanks.
That's the hang of all.
Government helps neutralize odor-causing bacteria that fragment stress like
Really needs more salt.
get comfortable, uncomfortable.
It changes everything.
Whiskey's world.
Come on, let's explore.
That's made with real salmon.
Oh, I know. Little soups for cats.
Here's the delicious taste of tuna with treasure.
Definitely coming back tomorrow.
Friskies, always more to explore.
About 1 in 5 people with fatty liver disease have NASH, which can lead to cirrhosis.
I thought I had fatty liver disease, but it's actually NASH. It's scarring my liver.
Resdifra is the first and only treatment for NASH with molecular against liver scarring and cirrhosis. It works directly in the liver to help reduce scarring and reduce NASH.
Before taking, tell your doctor about liver or callback.
so miserable.
Flonase relieves your worst allergy symptoms so you can start feeling better the same day. Save your relationship approach. Flonase.
Wendy's has a fresh JBC or double stack in the app for only $1. In fact, there's so fresh, this JBC is still getting made. There she is. Show off. For the freshest deals and what you love, gotta be Wendy's.
I need these items to image my size.
Certainly. Are you foreign print certain? We are foreign print. Certainty matters. When you need promo gear for gifting clients, custom.
Involves so much more than just an iceberg. Expedition 5's mid-season premieres Wednesday, April 16th on Discovery.
According to UFO researchers, since the 1940s, Presidents Roosevelt and Truman kept government knowledge about UFOs and extraterrestrials a tightly
You gonna be
held
very
secret
long?
from the
I need to drop a
American
deuce.
people. The question is, why?
Before any president takes office, they must be briefed on all the top strategic issues that poses a threat.
I got all liquored up, man. My wife's car with one of those.
The president, any president, every president wouldn't be briefed on UFOs.
UFO investigators believe this highly controversial briefing paper, seen here for the first time on national television, was presented to President-elect Dwight Eisenhower in 1952. It was prepared by Majestic 12, the same group of high-ranking military officers and scientists created by President Truman to safeguard UFO secrets. The paper details UFO encounters in the western United States, including the crash in Roswell, New Mexico. It also describes 4 human-like bodies believed to have been on board the crashed UFO. These are referred to as extraterrestrial biological entities.
If that document is valid, it says a lot about the Roswell crash. It goes into the fact that beings were found on the craft, into the UFO issue, into the flying saucer issue.
For researchers, the NJ-12 briefing paper is also persuasive evidence that soon-to-be President Eisenhower was aware of UFO secrets our government held, and that the UFOs were of interstellar origin.
If an alien spacecraft really did crash at Roswell, and the US government got its hands on this technology and then seeded it out into the US industry, this would have been the biggest secret in the history of the human race.
And as secrets go, researchers believe this one becomes a top priority for NJ-12, the CIA, and the US defense industry.
During the Eisenhower administration, this issue of UFOs was gaining a great deal of traction. The CIA was growing by leaps and bounds.
So too was Lockheed's elite aerospace division, whose executives were flying over the barren Nevada desert when they spot a remote area called Blue Lake, surrounded by mountains and shielded from the public. Based on a grid map of the parcel of land, they called the site Area 51.
The choice of Area 51 makes absolute sense from a security point of view. If you're going to have a UFO tech program, and the CIA was deeply involved in everything going on in Area 51. Alan Dulles, who became director of the CIA under Eisenhower, knew all about this. So one question we can ask is to what extent they tried to shield Eisenhower from information. And I think it's probably true that they would.
Over the years, there's been an unspoken agreement that the president doesn't need to know every goes on in the intelligence community, and that allows the president deniability. Presidents have to respond to reporters' questions and don't want to put them in a position where they have to lie.
It could have been that Dulles said, boss, we'll take care of this. And maybe Eisenhower might have said initially, sure, okay.
I think after a while, presidents who allow that to go on might wind up a little bit out of the loop.
And so it goes. Researchers believe that CIA Director Allen Dulles begins working closely with MJ-12 and leaving Eisenhower in the dark about what really went on at Area 51.
Eisenhower may have even found out that towards the end of his administration that he was no longer getting answers about the UFO phenomenon. That's entirely possible.
But we have to keep in mind that during the 50s, the president increasingly found himself dealing with this massive militarized bureaucracy. And we have to ask ourselves, like, how much power can the president have over such a small, powerful democracy as the American military industrial complex?
And if there's any doubt about how the president felt about being left behind by the CIA and MJ-12, we only need to look at Eisenhower's farewell address at the end of his presidency.
In the councils of government,
Hey, gorgeous, jump in.
acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex. The potential for the disastrous
Let's go
rise
somewhere
of
more
this great power exists and will persist. We must never let the weight of this combination endanger our liberty or democratic progress.
Toward the end of his presidency, it was very clear that Eisenhower started to have misgivings about this massive military complex that he himself helped to create. So it does fit that he would have had misgivings about the UFO program as well.
Many people in the UFO community feel that Eisenhower's remarks were directly related to the UFO issue and the unaccountability of groups like Majestic. It appears that he was concerned that there were potentially some very dark forces at work.
What was shared between departing President Eisenhower and President-elect Kennedy about the UFO issue. But UFO experts believe Majestic 12 was more determined than ever to control all information about UFOs and otherworldly technology, and do so by whatever means necessary.
Just like that. Such a big fucking bitch. It feels so fucking good, huh?
It's a very careful way describe it. Maybe it doesn't come at all. We don't see it.
You like this, honey?
Tastes like never before.
Fuck yeah. Give it to me, honey.
No, got it!
Animal can call animal strain can help us to keep our animal for a long time. It's exactly like that. It's proven to strengthen our teeth.
I feel like I can really talk to
everybody.
you.
It's really an amazing
Come back
product.
and see me?
So, like being toasted, you know how you like.
Pop-Tart, crazy!
Dublin plus
Welcome to the team. Thanks.
That's the phone.
Dublin helps neutralize odor-causing bacteria that thrive on stress.
Like, really needs more salt.
Get comfortable, but not uncomfortable. It changes everything.
Risky's world.
Come on, let's explore.
That's made with real salmon.
Oh, I know. Little soups for cats.
Here's the thing. These things are little treasure. Got to get you broke from allergies? Therapy provides power for all day allergy relief and everything.
for relief of even the most irritating symptoms like your throat. Third, only clearly bleeding.
Oh, this is total bullshit. Get me.
Designed for compression support of your lower back and core, like you've never experienced before. Engineered with a most innovative patent pending and advanced edge compression system,
I'd advise against that crucifix.
lower surface area of your back for relief of lower back aches and pains. A super lightweight mesh fabric, ventilated to increase airflow and release excess heat. An orthopedic design alloy support pad and 4 built-in flexible stabilizers to help improve the life and promote better posture. The all-new X-Back from Copperfit, the most customizable support for relief of lower back pain you will ever wear. Guaranteed.
Yeah, yes, that's it, motherfucker.
Xback.com or call 1-800-256-8917. Order right now when you're shipping your stuff. Copperfit. Feel the difference.
You have no idea what you're dealing with.
John F. Kennedy becomes the 35th President of the United States. As the country celebrates this rising star of politics, here outside Washington, D.C.'s inner circle, to which Kennedy quietly deals with the danger that Eisenhower had vaguely described in his farewell address. Danger that some say related to government secrets about UFO technology, Area 51, and extraterrestrial.
Charlie 4, roger that. We're in the area.
From a president that's walking out the door. You cannot swing it. He's not there. He's telling you to leave.
I think that there was a definite problem that was going on in the interpretation of Kennedy's main problem is that he was perceived as unreliable to the national security establishment on a whole array of fronts, including the UFO issue.
A year and a half later, the Cuban Missile Crisis takes the United States to the brink of nuclear war with Russia's Soviet Union. And despite Kennedy's secret negotiation with Moscow to avert war, tensions between the U.S. and the Soviet Union remain high.
This can never happen. We have to develop a new relationship with Soviet Russia to keep these two countries from having literally the brink of World War III ever again.
To achieve this goal, Kennedy secretly issues a memorandum requesting that NASA initiate broader cooperation between the United States and the USSR in outer space, including cooperation in lunar landing programs. The memo is dated November 12, 1963.
He felt that the differences between America and the Soviet Union could be resolved in a peaceful way, and he felt the strongest way to show that to everyone is to cooperate in an area where they have unique capabilities and mutual interest, which is exploring the moon together.
But the fine print in Kennedy's bold initiative also means sharing classified UFO secrets.
This idea of collaboration in the space program clearly set off alarm bells with MJ-12 and some parts of the administration. And the concern was that we have alien technology here. We don't want to share it with zombies. And that was the last straw. That was the thing that the national security scenario in our bellies, MJ-12, absolutely cannot tolerate war.
Fuck off! My goodness, the idea of sharing UFO data with the Russians, no, I don't think that they were on board with this.
And for MJ-12, sharing UFO secrets was a big problem. Their response may have been pulled from a fire. When and where, nobody knows. Like all MJ-12 documents, the authenticity of this burned memo is considered suspect by mainstream historians. But for UFO researchers, this 9-page document is explosive new evidence never before seen on national television. Page 1 refers directly to the president. As you must know, that's having some inquiries regarding our activities, which we cannot allow.
This was a classic conflict between the president and the intelligence community, and it was showing to be beyond the control of any president.
And perhaps the most chilling page of the Byrne memo states, when conditions become non-conducive for growth in our environment, and Washington cannot be influenced any further, the weather is lacking any precipitation. It should be wet.
It's so many things. Wet one means if you kill people covertly. It's a very kind of careful way of describing if Kennedy doesn't play ball real soon, he's going to be. So obviously what must have happened is Kennedy started asking about aliens, grays, UFOs, the whole thing, and MJ-12 took a vote and decided we have to get rid of this guy.
If the Byrne memo is authentic, as believed by UFO experts, the conflict between JFK and those in possession of UFO secrets within our government are on a collision course.
Buying a car is kind of a big deal. There's like a billion options. That means it's something that you love. The Car Gurus We Get is the #1 most visited car shopping site. We make sure your big deal is the best deal. Government plus care. Welcome to the team. Thanks. That's the thing about it. Government helps neutralize overcausing bacteria that most stress. That really needs more salt. Get comfortable. Uncomfortable. It changes everything.
Risky's world. Come on, let's explore.
That's made with real salmon.
Oh, I know. Little soups for cats.
Here's the ocean taste of tuna with treasure.
Definitely coming back tomorrow.
Always more to explore.
Flores relieves your worst allergy symptoms, so you can start feeling better the same day. Save your relationship furniture. Flores.
Domino's new Parmesan stuffed crust pizza tastes like never before. Because Domino's has never had stuffed crust before. Seriously. But we do now. So get a medium 2-topping Parmesan stuffed crust pizza for $10.99 with a mix and match.
Liberty Mutual is all she talks about. Since we say comfort by putting our home in auto insurance.
It's pronounced Liberty. Liberty. Nice try, kid. Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, liberty, liberty.
phenomenon set the stage for a giant confrontation.
Some policies that really were on in the 2006 one. Basically, the emergency UFO subject to a storm. Nothing that happened. President Kennedy had expressed the view that the U.S. government should be sharing technology. And if there was alien technology in place, that would be almost something true. Some people want to have those that can be left.
The authenticity of the UFO memo is not yet debated. UFO researchers say there are telltale signs that prove they did.
Now, the burn marks can be manufactured. There are ways to simulate a fire. But if you look at the patterns on the burn marks on these documents, you can see that they look like they were in a series on a pile that was saved from fire. Also, the analysis was done that showed breaking on these documents was made from paper that was prevalent in the 1960s. The other thing is that paper, government type of paper, by the U.S. government in the 1960s. And the conclusion that these documents are legit.
The Blue Memo is claimed to have been mailed to a UFO investigator in 1999 by an unknown CIA agent who included a note saying he had worked for James Jesus Andrews, who in 1963 was the chief of CIA counterintelligence.
That was one of the powerful people in the music for about 20 years. And he seemed to be the one who authored this particular memo. And some of the ways he neutralized perceived threats coming at you from any direction. So, of course, but also the president himself. This was a classic conflict between the U.S. president and the president. This was a creation that had gone way out of control.
An out-of-control battle between the president and his state over UFO secrets. Is it possible, then, that the events of November 22nd, 1963 were the deep state solution to bringing this conflict to an end? Kennedy was probably assassinated as the result of a conspiracy.
President Kennedy had a desire to share with the American people some of the most highly classified information that we have about UFOs and extraterrestrials. As wild as it sounds, there are theories that the government may have been involved in Kennedy's assassination. And if that's the case, that would be very heartbreaking.
If these documents are authentic, I think they are, then the implications are really profound. It's that people are imagining secret so important that you must not ever lose control over that.
Look out!
Nothing can get in that way. Everything that threatens it must be removed.
When I say you suck, I mean you really suck, man. You want me? Kill me!
Is the official history. There is the secret history. What's the real government? Section from the Second World War, since the Cold War, is the present one. Only way to resolve is two separate history teams by John Martin,
trying to kill the forest. Reportedly, there's one instrument, and in many cultures created our most sacred objects from gold. But why, out of all the creative elements in periodic table,
Are you happy
and
now?
reputation as our most precious?
On one level, one could say, why is gold so intrinsically valuable? It's pretty essential. As John Locke, gold is an element, like a red magnet's point of view for life. Because there is no buildings for its value, and it's something extraterrestrial connected.
This obsession for gold is reflected in creation myths from many different cultures. About a sky god who descended to earth.
What's really interesting is that all ancient cultures have absolutely basically seen stars in the sky. Maybe they were extraterrestrial beings.
One of the stories most share a common connection. Some gold rituals linked to these possibly the sky gods. The question is why? Time for clues. First go back to a time and place where the value and importance of gold originated. Some believe that Exodus is an ancient sun located in the southernmost region of Mesopotamia. What is known as Iraq and Kuwait. That's where the Sumerians were.
The Sumerians are the first people to really harness agriculture and allow people to live in a safe place. They created the world's oldest written language, great architectural and engineering techniques that later on by the Egyptians, the Greeks, you name it, were begun by Sumerians.
The archaeological record indicates Sumer was first inhabited around 4,500 BC. Even from its earliest days, it's believed that the Axis had come themselves with gold. In religious practices too, sacred artifacts were either coated with or made entirely of gold. Something about implied immortality, perhaps explaining why Sumerian kings would signify their rule with golden crowns. We know all this because they wrote it down.
We have a huge record of Sumerian cuneiform writing because they were all on clay tablets. We still have tons of them.
This written history, the first ever on Earth, contains bizarre tables of the very basic beings that the Sumerians believed were ancestors who helped mold human life on Earth. And we know this because of researchers like Sabotage and the nearly 50 years of study. We unlocked the key to understanding these tablets. It's a fluid and controversial Earth chronicles offers evidence that some say is utterly shocking. And although Zechariah died in 2010, his niece, Janet, served as his researcher for many years, still speaks on behalf of his work.
My uncle always said that he wasn't a writer, he was a reporter, because he was taking the evidence and the stories that many considered myth and decided what it is fact and what it is history.
According to Zechariah, the history of the Sumerians begins with the oracles that sky gods, the Anunnaki, often depicted with weird eyes. He believed they were a race of highly advanced extraterrestrials.
Wave 2 requesting connect. Where'd they go? Eagle 1, Northwest Terminal 1.
Sumerian people know about the Anunnaki or the beings that they say they learned from them.
Satan's interpretations and translations of some of these ancient Sumerian texts are correct. It would imply a lot of them to have advanced civilization, perhaps half a million years or so ago, arrived with with their roots and were exploring exactly like gold was valuable to
passage and proposed next is nothing less than earth-shattering. That the Anunnaki spent thousands of years mining gold on Earth until deciding to genetically alter some of our earliest prehistoric hominids by infusing them with their own extraterrestrial DNA.
Control odor for 72 hours, spray it up, down, all around. Truly touchless
the story of the one. He doesn't just see a broken dial. He sees lost revenue, a late night, and work stalled to a halt. Thankfully, he has the experience to handle whatever comes his way, and has a Ranger on his side, offering access to technical product specialists and the skill to deliver fast. So he can keep his business in gear and always moving forward. Call thegranger.com or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done. As mankind owes its very existence to aliens who came to Earth searching for gold to save their planet, could these aliens, called the Anunnaki, have then altered the DNA of humankind? That was the shocking conclusion of Zachariah Sitchin, who spent 3 decades researching the earliest human civilization in Sumer. He developed his theory after studying stories written in cuneiform on clay tablets. After Zachariah's death in 2010, C's Janet Sitchin published an overview of her uncle's research that revealed even further stunning findings. While the Anunnaki continued mining gold in Sumer, some of them also set out around the world to locate more gold.
When they first started mining gold, they were in the area of Sumeria, but they couldn't find enough gold, so they ended up using their technology to scan the earth, and they found that in the southern part of Africa there was gold, and it was a much richer area for gold.
UFO researchers say there are African Zulu legends that speak of a time when visitors from the stars came to excavate gold and other natural resources. Then, according to the stories written in the clay tablets, the Anunnaki traveled further to the opposite side of the world.
They left Africa to look for gold in other places, and found some in Central America and South America, and this seems to have been a very rich source of gold.
Sitchin claims the Anunnaki eventually abandoned the Earth and their pursuit of gold due to drastic climate changes. They were gone. They left behind an obsession for gold that continues to resonate throughout time and civilization.
The crazy thing is that we've always had this fixation on gold. It's always been there.
Certainly the Anunnaki theory is compelling, but as we look beyond Sumer to the early civilizations of Central and South America, we find other strong connections between gold and possible alien contact. It's the early 16th century. From high in the Andes Mountains of South America, in what is now modern-day Colombia, a fantastic legend emerges about a vast treasure trove of gold in a place called El Dorado.
Europe had already developed a currency system, one that was based on precious metals, gold and silver primarily.
When the gold-thirsty Europeans hear about this incredible city, they can't resist trying to find it. Spanish conquistadors set out to the jungles of South America to find and conquer it. In the process, they and we discover the power of gold as it plays a part in other creations.
The legend of El Dorado actually began a couple years earlier with the first Spanish journey through the Amazon, where the Spanish conquistadors say that they saw highways, they saw big walled cities with kings, so there was supposed to be a whole civilization somewhere in the Amazon. They started talking about this El Dorado city of gold that was somewhere near a lake, that there was a king called El Dorado, covered in gold dust.
The ritual was connected to the Morisca tribe of the Northern Andeans. According to legend, it was time to crown a new monarch. The future king traveled to the sacred Lake Guatavita. There he was afflicted with Nicaragua launched two giant black birds from the sky. Their golden breath illuminated the cosmos, giving rise to the creation of all things. Could this creation myth be related to events that actually happened in the ancient past? More to the point, was the moon switch theory partaking in a ritual handed down over time in honor of their god? It covering himself in gold dust, represent the gold covering of Johnny Godwin.
Well, I'll be. That bird really knew it. Only pay for what you need.
Involves so much more than just an iceberg. Expedition Files, new season premieres Wednesday, April 16th on Discovery.
The first time, the veterans and the rookies compete to renovate 4 identical houses with their own signature style.
Season premiere, April 14th at 9 on HGTV. Find the legendary Sydney home known as El Dorado. The Spaniards come across an indigenous people who worship a golden sky god. The Morisco's ritual use of gold suggests evidence of extraterrestrial contact. And Alien may be the only ones to have come in contact with the sky god. In 1518, the Spanish launched an expedition led by Hernan Cortes.
In the early 1500s, Spain was emerging as what we would now call a global superpower and was aggressively trying to gain and hold territory and finance voyages to new worlds. One of the reasons was supposedly to go and convert heathens to Christianity.
The other reason was made clear by King Ferdinand himself when he bluntly declared, "Get gold. You may leave, you can, but at all hazards, get gold."
A transatlantic voyage was very dangerous and expensive. I would liken it to a space program. You had to put a vast amount of resources into it, and very often it was dangerous. Voyages were lost, so a lot of finance had to be raised.
But despite these obstacles, Cortes and his conquistadors forged ahead with their expeditions. In the process, they overthrew long-established empires, plunder their gold, and come in contact with various religious beliefs of the indigenous people, beliefs that could suggest ancient contact with extraterrestrials. The Spanish made landfall on the Yucatan Peninsula, where they soon encountered the Maya. And though the Native Americans proved tenacious, they are no match for the conquistadors' armor and weapons.
The conquistadors basically viewed indigenous peoples as less than human. It's easy to
over to Yucatan, but it didn't have the gold they wanted, and the people kept running off into the forest. It was very difficult to make any headway there.
But the Spaniards did find numerous carved depictions of a feathered serpent. They later depicted a revered Mayan god.
They discovered stories of this ancient god Kukulkan, who was in fact the winged serpent. It was a god that flew through the sky.
Kukulkan, I believe, out of all the Mayan gods, he was the only benevolent god. He was also a representation of the blue serpent, of that cosmic serpent knowledge that the Mayans were taught. It said that the elders would go out and look at his lights, these crafts that would appear with these beings to exchange knowledge. And with that type of knowledge and that type of teaching, that's how these structures, these places were able to be built.
For the Spanish, it was an inconceivable tale. But for UFO investigators, legends and carvings are suggestive of some sort of extraterrestrial contact in the distant past.
If Kukulkan was an extraterrestrial being, it's entirely possible the Maya felt like perhaps the craft that he arrived on, the spacecraft, actually in some way looked similar to natural objects and natural creatures that they were familiar with.
But I keep in my heart as about the stories that my people tell. They believe that Kukulkan may have come to this earth in a spacecraft in a UFO.
But Cortez and the conquistadors would have to journey further north to discover a civilization for whom gold was a vital element in their spiritual life. The Aztecs ruled a massive empire in what is now southern and central Mexico. It consisted of 400 to 500 small states, an estimated 6 million people.
They had taken over most of the Mesoamerican world, and they were about to completely dominate more of it when the Spanish showed up. So Cortez lands at Veracruz, burns those ships so his soldiers won't have any way to turn around, and starts making his way towards Mexico City.
Known as Tenochtitlan at the time, it was the center of the Aztec world, and home to Emperor Montezuma. Gold was essential to the Aztecs' spiritual and political life. The precious metal had a symbolic and spiritual meaning that was used in funerary rituals as well as to make sacred statues and other objects. Gold ornamentation was reserved for royalty and the highest ranks of nobility, except on rare occasions when they were bestowed as gifts to provincial rulers. The emperor had sole control over the gold mines, so when Cortez arrived at the great Aztec temple, Montezuma offers a gift.
The Aztecs already know what he wants, and they make a fatal mistake. The Aztecs sent 2 big pieces of art made of gold and said, hey, we know you're here for printing, and here is some printing, and you can go on your money.
But Cortez wants more. Montezuma keeps delivering gold to the Spanish, hoping each time they'll need it.
Cortez asked for it, and the king had it delivered, and they had a huge amount. They had tons and tons of gold over about 6 months period that just kept coming in and filling rooms.
As the gold-hungry conquistadors hoard these precious gifts, they encounter another powerful symbol of Aztec culture, the god Quetzalcoatl. Depicted as a feathered dragon, similar to the Mayan Kukulkan, said to have descended to Earth to create humans and civilization before departing back to the heavens. Quetzalcoatl is often rendered in gold statues, pendants, and other artworks.
Quetzalcoatl was the creator of the universe and this earth. He can manifest himself into a person, to a dragon, to a snake. He takes those people about that way of life in America.
The Aztecs have this belief in sky gods, and again, this makes one think, is there a connection with the more modern UFO phenomenon? The whole concept that gods came from the sky. And this is something that one sees in the Aztecs.
Is it possible the Mesoamerican stone carvings of dragons and feathered serpents represented not gods, but something perhaps of a technological nature?
It's said that Quetzalcoatl may have arrived on this earth in a spaceship, may have been going back and forth from where he was from and making his journeys in the ships.
Researchers theorize the Aztec and Maya recorded these beliefs on sheets of stretched deerskin and bark paper, known as a codex. These were interpreted by some of the native people working with Cortez.
When Cortez's men actually discovered stories of these gods that flew through the sky in different areas like the Aztec writings described Quetzalcoatl and Kukulkan. The first thing the Spanish did was they destroyed virtually all of them. They wanted to wipe this knowledge from the face of the earth. And the only reason you would do that is if it represented some sort of threat to your power hierarchy that you wanted to establish in the new world. So clearly, the Lost Codexes probably indicate, in my opinion, the extraterrestrial origin of Kukulkan and Quetzalcoatl, who were essentially alien beings that descended from the sky in an alien spacecraft. When you look at Central American civilizations, Mayans, the Aztecs, what you find time and time again is winged gods. These entities from the skies. And of course, there is, I think, a similarity there between that and some of these modern UFO sightings. So the possibility is that these winged gods, these flying serpents, were actually ancient sightings of UFOs.
We'll never know if the Spaniards ever took the legends and spiritual beliefs of the New World very seriously. Within 2 more years, Hernan Cortez brought about the downfall of the Aztec Empire and claimed the land for Spain. By then, other conquistadors were already chasing rumors of a place that promised gold beyond their wildest dreams. Coming up, a temple crafted in gold with a mysterious connection to a sky god.